Across the country, Americans are voting for president. Looking at live pictures right now of a polling place in Philadelphia, as Pennsylvania is one of the big battleground states that could decide this race. Polls in Indiana and Kentucky have just closed. States like South Carolina and Georgia will be closing in the next hour. Our Commitment 2024 coverage continues right now. Good evening, everybody. I'm Chris Katz.
And I'm Laura Moritz. We're joined by KMBC 9's Matt Fleener, who has an update for the White House.
Yeah, that's right. We know right now that Vice President Kamala Harris will watch the results come in at her residence at the Naval Observatory in Washington, D.C. Former President Donald Trump will be at Mar-a-Lago. Earlier today, Trump cast his ballot in Palm Beach. Harris voted by mail, so her ballot was cast days ago. Both campaigns spent the final days of the race in Pennsylvania, the state that could decide the race.
I think this is an inflection point in terms of this is a moment where we have two very different visions of the future of our nation, and mine is focused on progress.
If I lose an election, if it's a fair election, I'd be the first one to acknowledge it.
Now, in the 2020 election, we did not find out the results until the Saturday after Election Day. And when we learn this year's outcome actually depends on a couple of things: how close this election is and how quickly states can count their ballots. Good news, we are expecting Georgia tonight. The Secretary of State says he's confident they'll get it counted by tonight. So good news there.
But a couple of days would not be a big surprise
Yeah.
at this point.
Just wait and see.
Yeah. All right, we have team coverage on big races in Kansas and Missouri.
Kelly Eckerman and Len Jennings are with the Hawley and Coons campaigns. Andy Alcock and Brian Johnson are watching the polls on both sides of the state line. And Krista Tatchell is in Kansas City, Missouri, watching Amendment 3. But first, we start in Jefferson City, where we find KMBC 9's Matt Evans, who is live with the Kehoe campaign. Matt?
Here with the Kehoe campaign at the Capitol Bluffs Event Center, a pretty familiar venue for the Lieutenant Governor Mike Kehoe, and it's just across the Missouri River from the Missouri State Capitol. You might be able to see it there in the distance. This is a familiar venue for Kehoe because he held his primary election night watch party here, and he even had his daughter's wedding here a few years ago. Kehoe cast his ballot earlier this morning here in Jefferson City and is the favorite to be Missouri's next governor after emerging from a contentious and expensive three-way GOP primary earlier this year. Kehoe, both in the primary and in the general election, is run as the establishment Republican candidate. He's got all the traditional GOP endorsements, from law enforcement to the Farm Bureau to the Chamber of Commerce, and he's spent more than a decade in politics after a successful career as a small businessman. He's been campaigning on his record of success in both the public and private sector, saying he can unite Missourians behind what he says are common sense ideas, like finding ways to tackle high crime rates, specifically in Kansas City and in St. Louis, eliminating the state's income tax as well, which have both been key priorities of his campaign. Now, Kehoe is heavily favored to win in a state that has become heavily Republican over the course of the past 10 years or so. The last time Missouri sent a Democrat to the governor's mansion was back in 2012. Polls have Kehoe heavily favored here. Most polls have him winning by at least 10 points. So certainly that is a good feeling going into tonight's campaign. But Democrats say they are hopeful to chip away at some of that Republican majority, and they hope to do that with their Democratic candidate for governor, Crystal Quade. We now go to Jackson Kurtz live with her campaign in Springfield. Jackson.
Well, Matt, the Crystal Quade camp is feeling pretty good tonight. We just got done talking to the campaign chair. They feel excited. They just finished door knocking on some last-minute campaigning here earlier today, but the watch party is going to begin tonight at 7 o'clock. They got the band setting up. They got crayons for kids here, really making this a family atmosphere. But a little bit about Crystal Quade. She grew up in rural Missouri, first person in her family to graduate from high school. She's a Missouri State grad. She's been the Democratic Minority House Leader since 2019, where she's faced a lot of gridlock. She says some of the biggest things she will tackle as a governor: the failing state government, she says, crime, and a focus on education. One poll had her opponent, Mike Kehoe, with a 14-point lead. That's according to Research Co. But they've been hitting the campaign trail late into this election night. Here's what Crystal's campaign had to say going into this evening.
Every moment we have, we're going to take advantage of to make sure we're turning out all of our voters. So, we feel really good about it, making sure that all of our voters are getting to the doors, and we're going to do everything we can. We've still got people phone banking, people door knocking across the state to make sure that our voters are getting to the polls.
And, one thing we asked her is, how do you feel in a state so red? And they said just talking to people out and about that they want change. So she hopes to see that result tonight. Live from Springfield, Jackson Kurtz, KMBC 9. Chris Lar, back to you.
All right, thank you. KMBC 9's Brian Johnson continues our team coverage. He's outside the South Broadland Presbyterian Church in Kansas City.
Well, Brian, what's the turnout been like there?
Chris, Lara, things have been steady here. A lot of people coming and going. It seems about the time someone is leaving, another person comes right in, but there is no line. You can see it's just a walk right in through the door. We have some video earlier of more people coming. Now, the only line we have heard of was this morning before the doors opened. Some have told us there was a very long line then with people voting before work. Once those doors opened, they tell us there has not been a line all day. One person, in fact, said this is the fastest it's ever been. Very smooth, no complaints.
Pretty quick, no waiting at all. It's quicker here than going to McDonald's.
And there you have it. People do not like waiting in lines, and so a lot of people have been pleasantly surprised that it's been as smooth as it has. We're live in Kansas City. I'm Brian Johnson. We'll send it back to you.
Quicker than going to McDonald's. All right, Brian, thanks. In Kansas, one of the races we'll be watching tonight, the race for the House in the Kansas 3rd Congressional District, where incumbent Sharice Davids is trying for another term. We'll go to our Andy Alcock live at a polling place in Overland Park less than 10 minutes from now.
But first, let's do our first weather. Chief Meteorologist Brian Busby is here, and true November weather has moved in.
It has. We had a front that moved through, took the heavier rain along with it, but still some sprinkles of light rain are showing up on radar. You have to really squint. Look at this. There are a couple, but they're not going to last long. So if you are still going to go out and vote, especially if you start to see a gray sky overhead, that's actually some of that cooler air that's moving in, and a couple of those little pockets of very light rain, we'll call it, across the area. Temperature-wise, we're falling out quite a bit. 51 Maryville as well as Hiawatha, 53 degrees in St. Joseph, and it gets milder the farther east and southeast you travel, but with time everybody's going to continue to cool down. It's a good portion across the Midwest looking like that. 40s up toward Omaha and Sioux City, Iowa. That's going to make the plunge down toward us as well. So we are going to cool down quite a bit, maybe a heavier jacket or a coat for the kids in the morning, as it's going to be in the upper 30s to near 40 degrees for some. And the afternoon high for tomorrow, close to 60 degrees. We'll check out that weekend forecast as well, which has some changes coming in the form of some rain straight ahead.
All right, Brian, thank you. Now to the race for the U.S. Senate in Missouri. Republican incumbent Josh Hawley is running against Democratic rival Lucas Kunce. And KMBC9's Kelly Eckerman is live with the Hawley campaign in Ozark, Missouri. What's the energy like where you're at? You've moved inside, Kelly.
We have moved inside. Now, I just want you to know the invitations went out to the supporters to show up at 7 o'clock. That's when the party actually starts. We're here a little bit early, though, kind of getting a sense of things. And actually, by day, this is a coffee shop here in Ozark, but tonight it is going to be the setting of a big watch party for the Josh Hawley supporters. Now, the race between Hawley and Democrat Lucas Kunce has been hard to miss because the campaign commercials have just saturated the airwaves, and it's been a contentious race. You know that if you watched the debate last week. Still, Hawley has maintained a solid lead in the polls, and coming into tonight, his campaign staff is confident.
We're feeling great going into tonight. Senator Hawley has spent the last couple months traveling all across the state, visiting with as many Missourians as he can see. But more importantly, he spent the last 6 years working for Missouri and for Missourians and representing their interests.
All right, again, the party gets started at 7 o'clock tonight. We're going to be here with those supporters as the results come in. We'll be bringing those to you as well. But right now we want to go to Len Jennings in Kansas City with the Lucas Kunce campaign. Len?
Yeah, hi, Kelly. Yeah, we are here at the IBEW, South Kansas City, just off 435, and this is where the Lucas Kunce watch party will be happening. As you mentioned, it is a contentious race. You've seen the commercials on TV. According to the latest numbers from OpenSeatRecords.org, both candidates have raised more than $20 million, and a lot of that money has been spent here in the Kansas City market, especially from Lucas Kunce, who's going to be challenging Josh Hawley tonight. Of course, the numbers, the polls close at 7 o'clock this evening. Right now, there are supporters here from the campaign kind of setting things up here, but not a lot of activity that is happening right now. Supporters are not expected to arrive here until before 7 o'clock this evening. Of course, Lucas Kunce is going to be here later on tonight as well. Lucas Kunce, he's the challenger. He ran for a U.S. Senate seat in 2022. He did not make it out of the Democratic primary then. He is in the general election now, running against Josh Hawley. Of course, he was born and raised in Jefferson City, served 13 years in the Marines, did tours in Afghanistan and Iraq. He also spent time at the southern border as part of his campaign where he wants to secure the border as well, one of his campaign promises in this race. Reporting live in South Kansas City, I'm Len Jennings for KMBC 9 News. We're going to send things back to Kristen Lara.
Well, Len, thank you. After you cast your ballot, stay with KMBC 9 News all night long.
And we'll bring you the latest results as soon as we learn them. Our election coverage will continue on KCWE 29 starting at 7 tonight.